Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of The Buzz. It's Tuesday, the 3rd of April 2018. And of course, I think I'm still recovering from the whole Easter celebration.
Very long holiday, right?
It's been a very long, even though we didn't
She
have
was
so
at
much
work.
of a holiday. But, you know, the fact that people were at home and there was less of a struggle getting to work and all that, you know, it's a blessing. Welcome to the show that brings you closer to social media. My name is Patience Belokafo. Thanks for joining us. Good afternoon, Alero.
Good afternoon, Patience. And I thought you wanted to say March.
Yes, I was trying to figure out, is it March, is it April? It's all right.
All right, a beautiful Tuesday afternoon to you out there. Today's edition of The Buzz promises to be an interesting and also insightful one, as we will be starting on a sad note, but definitely just going to thank God for the life that was actually experienced by this great woman.
That's right, very great woman. But before we go into that, let's introduce our guest on the show this afternoon. Sitting close by, he's been here a couple of times and is back again. He is a known artist and also a very well-known music producer. I like to describe him as a music entrepreneur because that name, Oba Kesolo, you know, rings a bell in virtually every quarter in the music industry in Nigeria. And he's also a social critic, which is why we always bring him on the show. It's a pleasure to have Solomon Oyeni, aka K-Solo, with us. Welcome, K-Solo.
It's nice being here. It's a fresh year.
Yes, it's a fresh year.
It's a fresh year.
It's great to have you
Because
join
I
us.
see this next, we're already in the mid
Second quarter.
Second quarter
of the year. That's
so
true.
It's a fresh year again.
Good.
Also, another one of our regulars on the show. He is a man, you know, whether he's on here or he's
Offline.
he's always contributing to the show. That was quite evident yesterday. He wouldn't let us be.
And they continued.
He
Funny enough, they continued on Facebook. That was himself, and Susan Mr.
Yeah, even after the program ended. Anyways, we are always happy to have him here. He's the president of Brand Journalists Association of Nigeria, and he's also a well-groomed journalist, Mr. Godi Ofose.
Thank you, Patience.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for coming. All right, we all are aware that news broke yesterday about the demise of anti-apartheid crusader Winnie Mandela. She died yesterday at age 81. All right, before we have our say, let's quickly go and see this clip. This clip is put together and we're using a courtesy of SABC. It's on the life and times of the great woman herself, Winnie Mandela. We'll take that and then we'll be back.
Winnie Mandela considered herself a warrior. She was a powerful yet controversial figure in the anti-apartheid movement.
We not only fought on political platforms. I was one of those who were with the people fighting physically against the apartheid regime.
While her husband, Nelson Mandela, was incarcerated, she became the face of Mandela's fight against oppression. When he was released from prison after 27 years, she was right by his side. She told CNN what was going through her mind at the time.
I was thinking about the liberation of my country. And that was the culmination of bitter years of struggle.
While their marriage withstood the battle against apartheid, it couldn't withstand the pressure of freedom. They divorced in 1996,
So help me God.
2 years after Mandela was elected the first black president of South Africa.
It's very difficult to revisit that period. Even to me.
In the years after the fall of apartheid, the woman who was once revered as the mother of the nation fell sharply in the public's esteem. She was convicted of theft and fraud, and a Truth Commission accused her of gross human rights violations, allegations she denied. When Nelson Mandela died in 2013, Winnie was at his funeral, grieving alongside his widow, Graça Machel. The scars of apartheid wounded Madikizela Mandela deeply, right until the end. She remained disappointed with the South Africa she had fought so hard to liberate. Nevertheless, she says it was well worth the sacrifice.
We won in the end. we were free.
So that's that one on Manikizela Mandela herself. Mr. Godiofose, how did you receive the news of her demise?
It was a mixed feeling, shocking, and the other way I was excited because a woman has lived her life, 81, very fulfilling life. I was
very eventful.
Fulfilling and eventful life. I told someone this morning that Winnie should be in every wife for every man.
Wow.
She was a great woman. I keep saying that whenever you see a shining star, there's something that someone somewhere is going to throw to block that shining, to block that star from shining. And that's what happened to, at the twin light of Winnie, that's what happened to the woman. And for a woman to wait for 27 years for a man, you can hardly have such women in the world.
Yeah.
Authority tried whatever they could to help her, to make her compromise her position. But she refused to compromise her position. She stood by her husband. She's the woman that could not enjoy the marital bliss for 27 years.
Wow.
But she stood by her husband. She fought a good fight. Winnie is not just a mother of Africa, South African nation. She's a mother of Africa.
Of Africa.
And I actually joked on the social media yesterday that if Rochas actually need a statue, that is a very good one.
That should have been someone to have.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just funny how he actually just spoke what I wanted to say. I was going to Nigeria basically, and I was talking about people people who are actually supposed to make statues for. These are actually one of the person who are supposed to do that for, because if it was actually Winnie, I'm very, very sure I'll tell you nobody's going to question it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to question
Wow.
it.
Okay, I haven't analyzed the character of the late Winnie. Do we actually see that coming back home in Nigeria?
Is that like anybody we can put in that category?
In that
To a
category.
point, I think we have.
Really?
And can you mention
Yes,
someone?
we have. I don't want to mention them because our kind of platform we have in Nigeria right now, anything you mention is being read politically. So I'm going to try to be careful not to mention name. We have some that are actually backbones, where you say, this man is very noisy, this man can speak at any time. And when you go deep, they tell you names like, this is why.
It's actually the woman behind all that.
I want to mention the name, should I?
Yes,
Go
please.
ahead.
Yes.
Okay, there's a friend of mine, and he's like like an uncle to me. His name is Fayoshe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We all know his wife is his prayer warrior.
Very strong,
If that's where you're
he's
going.
a troublemaker.
Yes.
Strong troublemaker. But every time he tells you, you want to fight me, first go and kill my wife. You can kill my wife, then you can get me.
Prayer warrior.
That's a Nigerian for you.
Okay.
But it's just sad that they were not able to get us clips of Mandela himself speaking about Winnie before
he passed on.
Because if we had clips of him, from a couple of clips that I don't know why it was not packaged in this, it says so much about her. So it says some.
Well, we're not going to
actually
quickly.
I want to just make a short statement there. I think talking about some woman who could actually stand
Nigeria
and speak about national issues
Yes.
and believe in what she believes in.
You know what makes her different from Fayoshe's wife, if we're using that as
I don't want to
yardstick?
mention Fayoshe's wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, then
okay, you have someone else?
Yes.
Okay.
I talked about, politics aside. Obi Ezekwesili could actually, but however, Obi has not been tested by her husband being incarcerated, and let her for what she believe, what the husband believed in. So at this point, I don't think we actually have
Anyone.
That
Woman
kind
like
of
that.
yes,
That's exactly what I just
Who
wanted to find
can-
out.
who is in the
it-
spotlight
you know,
as well as the husband
Woman.
being in the spotlight?
One thing
I
you
get
need
what
to
you mean.
understand. One thing I want to oppose that a little for is because we are getting to the point whereby in Nigeria whereby we're starting to embrace social media very, very strong. Not like then, It is this social media that's now exposed likes of the woman I just mentioned her name.
Exactly.
You understand?
I get what you
She's
mean.
doing a lot too. But for Winnie, she's Mama Africa,
Yeah.
so she's in the front of spotlight. So you have
She's
to
in the
that
forefront.
knowing all this.
That she's
So
been doing.
if today, we have a very strong government that starts frying Fayose, then you can tell. Then you'll be able to speak more.
Okay, let's not make this about Fayose. All right, this is our own little way of paying tribute to the late Winnie Mandela. She died yesterday at age 81. She actually married Nelson Mandela in the year 1958 when she was just 22 years old. And she didn't really enjoy that marriage because in 1964, Nelson Mandela was convicted and was imprisoned for life for sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government of that time. In May 1991, she was sentenced to 6 years in prison for kidnapping. We all heard that story about, even though the sentence was later, reduced and all of that. And standing on her own as a woman of herself, in 1993, she was elected president of the ANC's Women's League. And we know ANC and anything to do with that, exactly.
It's the government of South Africa.
Really, really big. I mean, she's a woman that will be remembered for a long time to come. And maybe Rocha Sokorocha, we can actually have a statue, like we have decided. All right, so let's move on to the topic of the day. We're starting off discussing the Oluwo of Iwo as he adopts the Emir title. I mean, yesterday was very interesting on social media. There was a lot of back and forth, on this issue. Anyway, let me quickly give us the background story. The Oluwo of Iwo Kingdom in Osun State, Oba Adewale Abdul Rashid Akombi, he on Saturday made history when he dropped the title of Oba and declared his resolve to adopt the Emir title, popularly known with northern traditional rulers. He said he did this because he wants to emulate the attitudes of northern emirs. And according to him, northern traditional rulers are better behaved than his counterparts from the southwest, saying Yoruba Obas are full of bickering, acrimony, and enmities. Reacting to the monarch's decision, Afenifere called on the kingmakers to commence the process of installing another Oluwo over Akombi's alleged abdication of the throne. Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization also described his decision as mostly embarrassing. Former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode, of course, went on social media and he called him so many names that we cannot repeat here on this program. Reacting to all this, the Oluwo of Iwo himself late yesterday, came out and denied that he did not change the title from Oba to Emir, that he only disclosed he can also be called an Emir by his Muslim admirers, especially the Hausas, who cannot pronounce Oba correctly. Okay, gentlemen.
I have to laugh because the Oluwo of Iwo has actually been in the news for either good or bad, for different reasons. And I really don't want to buy what I've actually been reading that has to do with some oil blocks. I'm sure you must have seen it. Some oil blocks and just getting favor from the Northerners. Do you actually see this? Okay, I'll start with Kesulu. You are an indigene. Okay.
Yes.
Of Osun State.
Yeah. Are you an indigene of Osun State?
Yes, I am.
Yes, he is.
I am.
Okay. Are you is a subject?
I'm not.
Okay.
The point is this: I see so many of these thoughts happening as political.
Okay.
One, because based on my findings, Oba in Hausa, in Arabic, is called Emir. You're an Oba. So if in the meaning of Oba in Yoruba in English is king, and in the Arabs it's called Emir. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think it should spring an issue.
Really?
I swear. I don't think it should spring an issue because calling you an Oba in someone else's tribe is called an Emir. You understand? So An Hausa can come here and call you an Emir. But because Nigeria is so, we've parted way in a way that these people stick to their own ethnic groups and all these ethnicity issues, you know, has actually made it look so bigger than what it's looking like. But like you said, this man has always been on the news for one thing or another. He loves the media.
Okay. He
No
loves
doubt about it.
publicity.
Yeah, he loves it very well. So for me, I really don't think it should be an issue where Fenifere should answer.
You don't think it doesn't? It does not matter to you, whatever he calls himself.
It doesn't matter to me. You understand? For example, I look at Tinubu, for example. He has like 20 AKs.
Yeah.
You understand?
Jagaban.
He's called the Emir of boys.
Yes, exactly.
You understand? King of boys.
But
So-
can I raise this point?
okay.
Okay, Mr. Godi, let me let you.
I want to disagree with Kesolo.
Okay.
I think tradition is tradition.
Okay.
Culture is culture. Our culture in the southwest is Oba. And that's what we are known for. And in the northern part of the country is Emir. The day Obong of Calabar call himself Oba of Calabar, he will be removed. The day Atta of Oron call himself Obong of Oron, he will be removed. All right? So it is abnormal for Oba to come up, who was sworn in, the throne was entrusted to him as Oluwo,
Yes.
to come out to call himself an Emir.
And
Then-
as royalty, he's supposed to
then
uphold the traditions and
Oni of
customs
Ife, as have you ever
of the
called
Yoruba people.
Oni of Ife, Oba of Ife?
No, it can't be
I'm coming because Oni, Oba, and the rest, they are chiefs, they are kings, and they are chiefs in their own class, and you have names for them.
Okay.
Now, you can never go to Sokoto and call Emir of Sokoto, Oba of Sokoto. You will be killed. Pardon my word. You will be killed. They will not allow that. And what the man has committed is sacrilege in Yoruba land. I'm not a Yoruba man, but I know that tradition is tradition. That I'm an Oron man means that an Atta of Oron, our own traditional head, can never be called Obong, where Calabar is very close to us.
Of course.
Okay.
So it's called an Atta. That Atta is Atta. You cannot change it. The day you come out to say, you can call me an Obong of Calabar, that means you have abdicated the throne. Then another person should be sworn in as an Atta, so that you can sit somewhere and answer Obong of Oron. Do you understand? So,
Okay. All right, Mr. Godi, because from all explanation in which he gave yesterday was he wanted the Fulanese, the Hausas to be able to
be included.
embrace them, yes, to be included.
It is wrong. It is very wrong. Let me tell you something.
Are we not preaching?
Okay, let me tell you something. There is no president. There is no president in United States of in UK.
Okay.
There is no president in UK. It's prime minister. Now, because Nigerian president so loved the Britain so much that he will say, "Don't call me president, call me prime minister." Will it ever happen? It will never happen. It's not. See, whatever excuse the man has given, is inconsequential. The man has made himself a laughing stock among his colleagues.
I told you.
By asking, asking a sectional group. That means if the Calabar people are also in his subjects, in his place, you should also tell Calabar people,
it should be an
please,
Obong.
you can call me Obong.
An Obong.
Obong
Of Iwo.
Iwo.
Of Iwo.
Then
All right,
then
let's
everybody
comment.
will be
Yes, I want to say
Comment.
something.
Comment.
What you have said, there's nothing wrong about that, you know. But you know, like I said in my last word, I said this is funny. This is not supposed to be in the news. Because when I say it's not supposed to be in the news, what you just said, the whole world knows about this. The whole world knows this is where it should be. You get, so if somebody is actually springing something like this up, you should know that it's driving to a point. And it's high time in Nigeria that we should try as much as possible to be flexible. Let's try and move. Let's grow. Let's push up. Let's change. This is what it has been, and that's the reason why we are being this way.
Okay.
Thanks to a lot of people that are changing stuffs. Somebody said something some days ago. Let me just digress a little and said, I miss my Lagos, whereby I come in from the park to Ojota to this to that. Now I'm just going to go through the same straight way like this. You get what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is that there's a new face of Lagos now. They are doing the facelift in Lagos. So Lagos is getting better and changing. And if you look at it like it's our normal Saleko Lagos.
So we have to change.
Things must grow.
So what you're saying
People are
is
preaching this love. For example, something happened in Brick Brothers some few days ago. They had the cultural day, you know. There's a boy called Miracle. Miracle was given a Yoruba attire. Teddy was given an Igbo attire. You know, this is the message we're trying to cross. Let's switch.
That we are all
Let's
one.
love, we are one. Every time we keep nailing on one point, like, this is what we should start. It can't work.
There is no place.
Let's make love.
K-switch, that is nowhere.
Let's understand.
Okay, let's hear Mr. Godi.
Hello, that is nowhere to get this unity kind of thing.
But do I tell you something?
I'm coming.
You know something? You see every little things we always ignore in Nigeria.
His name is
It's a step. It's a step to something good. Most times we won't change.
Okay, let's
start from us, from your home.
We get you. I get what you're saying. You are saying that, you know, we all know that change is dynamic. So, as the times are changing, we have to change all our traditions and everything too.
No, we just need to embrace.
No, we are embracing. We are not changing it.
Embrace.
We are embracing. Embracing is me going to your town and learning your language.
That is it.
Why would I not go to your language? Why would I want to learn your language? Because I want to associate with you.
Listen.
Then I should learn your language.
Okay, one house. Let's listen to
we should make the Hausas learn how to pronounce Oba. Hello.
Let them
learn how to pronounce Oba. Not our Oba changing to what they know how to pronounce. Hello. So that is the way to get us united. If then Hausa people want to come and greet our Oba, they should dress in Yoruba attire. So that Yoruba people in the north, when they want to go and greet Sanusi, they will dress in Hausa attire. Okay. Not Sanusi calling himself Oni of Kano. I'm coming because that is what Oluwo did to call himself Emir of Iwo. And I want to tell you, I want to also ask, in Iwo, what do we have? Do we have Muslim population higher than the Christian population?
We have Muslim population.
If we have Muslim population higher than the Christian, when you begin to infuse the Emir, the northern culture, into the Yoruba culture, what are you trying to preach? Because
that title Emir is synonymous with Islam as we have it. Yes.
Hello, we have. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if Alafi is a Muslim.
Alafi.
Yes, is a Muslim. But can he ever changed from Alafi to whoever was answering in the north? No.
We get what you're saying.
Do you understand? So we should get a way to get this. Not turning our traditional stool to a laughing stock.
You understand, Mr. Godi, let's just try and get something right there. Traditional rulers have a particular, they can as well be born into a Muslim family, or probably a Christian family. They still have that traditional thing in which they get to still practice. So now the question is, do you think it's actually wrong for the Oluwo to actually have a turban on?
Please, we have to go back to history.
Okay.
Go back in history and find out how has Oluwo been dressed. What has he have mode of dressing?
Let's try.
Historically, let us go back in history and look at it. What have they been doing? Now, if this Oluwo want to dress in turban, does he have the blessings of his subject? Okay, because somebody installed you Oluwo. You couldn't come from your own and install yourself. There are some kingmakers who will never be king. So some people install you. Have you consulted those same people and asked them, can I do this? Is it in line with our traditions? And they ask him to go ahead. Then can he now, who thinks himself a supremo now, because those kind of people, we cannot even allow them to become Nigerian president because they will sit down and do whatever they want to themselves. Because if you just Oluwo in one corner and you are doing
the guy is young. The Oluwo is young.
That's an old man now, for God's sake.
Hold on. Yes, first of all,
let's be flexible.
Hold on, let's talk about this man, the Oluwo of Iwo. First of all, he's a very funky kind of Oba.
It doesn't matter.
We all know that.
It doesn't matter.
We all know it's quite
Madam,
funky.
do you know this traditional ruler in
if you know
hold on. Where?
It was installed at the age of 6, 9 or thereabouts.
Somewhere in the Delta State, yes.
Have you ever heard that man misbehave? He never had his childhood. He never enjoyed his childhood.
Exactly.
Because the moment he was born, the father died, he was taken abroad, nurtured. We also aware of how the Oba of Benin behave, the heir apparent, that they don't enjoy their childhood. Now, have you ever heard that they misbehave? Do you know that some of these people are 40 years? They've also enjoyed their youthful age, and they've done all manner of things. And you want to tell me that an Oluwo, a very, very honorable seat,
Revered, yes.
that you want to come and no.
Okay, all right. I get both sides of the argument. Kesolo is talking about, especially when you have like a young person on the throne.
I see the
you
case
should
as
embrace.
I see the case
For me,
I see the case that we've been running all through in this country,
If
whereby we have a president that old people, and you see young people come and tell you, sir, please, this is wrong, and he tells like, come on, keep your mouth shut. This is how we've been doing it for many years.
Okay, you're
And
talking
yet,
about us embracing change.
No.
Okay,
So
all right, but can we leave that issue
We
aside?
are not talking about human sacrifices.
You see that seat can never
We are not
be
talking about
changed.
festive.
If you get to his office, it is still that same board up everywhere behind the seat. It's still the
Patient,
Oluwo.
do you
So
know-
it can be called anything it wants to be
Patient,
called, is what you're
do
saying.
you know that in 1993, 1993 or 1994,
When we sing for them,
when the former
we give them so many
president-
AKs.
when the former president, when the former head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, changed himself to the military president, do you know it was a very massive fuse? Everybody talked about it because we know that every military head of state, he always be called head of state. But this is the only man that changed himself to president.
As a military,
To president.
yes. Okay,
Now,
all right, but
some
can
of
we
those things
leave
shouldn't be
that?
allowed
Can
to-
we leave that issue aside? Because the Oluwo himself has come out to say he was misconstrued. That he just, I think from the story, he just wanted to include
The Northerners,
the
the
Northerners.
You
Hausas.
should also include my people.
Okay.
Some of my people are in this place.
But can we look at the issue he actually raised, though, which is saying Yoruba Obas are full of bickering,
That's sacrilege.
acrimony,
That's sacrilege.
and there's no cooperation.
That's sacrilege.
Are you Yoruba?
I am not. I have lived long in this place to know
To
that.
understand the
to
ways
know,
of-
to know
okay.
that one of the most respected traditional stew is from this place.
Okay.
Do you understand? I don't know. See,
Should I tell you one thing?
wait now.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Let me let you talk.
Because if an Oba who was installed an Oba in a Yoruba land come out to speak such evil against his own colleague, his own people, it's wrong.
The same way politicians
No, don't
that
mix
belong
politics to
Chill.
tradition.
Relax
That's what I'm
now.
trying to tell you.
Relax.
Hold on, Mr. Badi. Hold on,
Relax.
Mr.
Let me
Badi.
speak now.
Go ahead.
Let me speak now. If you're talking about this tradition and people who are inside know things are going very wrong and it's not being worked upon, and these old people have a gathering of cults whereby this is who they are, and they're trying to initiate you as a young boy into it, and you're not yielding to that. Because of that, they're frustrating you. Things are going very bad, and people outside are not saying. These young men are hot in the blood, like they all need to.
So they're crying out.
They want to talk.
Are you a member of his cabinet? Then you know what's going on.
You understand.
You're
going
talking
on.
like you're
problem is
talking
that
about tradition,
this Oba-
and things are going bad. Every time they do one stuff or the other, people die. You don't even know what is happening, and yet they're talking about tradition.
Kesolo.
Let people who are inside this thing and are going through this pain
listen,
come out and speak.
My challenge is that this Oba has never come out.
Because the Oba is coming
and
to speak out now, and because he has been this kind of person that is outspoken,
he's not
then you
speaking
look
out.
at him. You look at him like he's cartilage. It's not. For me, somebody must start speaking. This must always
What
go
is he
through.
speaking about? That is what we should go to.
He just told you now
He's talking
that
about lack of cooperation.
Cooperation among the Obas.
amongst
Now,
how can
traditional
how can you have a problem and what is wrong because you know the Oba of Lagos, you understand, and this is not done the right way, and this is done this way, which is supposed to be done like this in traditional way because it
is
belongs
it
to
the
the
same Oba that is doing that, or a subject that
Okay.
are doing that? My own is wait. You see,
Quickly, Mr. Goddy.
yes, we have to actually differentiate some of these things. We should ask ourselves, what is Oba talking about? If Oba come out openly and say, I'm an Oba, and I feel there is a case that was between Obas, and I didn't like the way that case went, then everybody will understand. Not for you to come and say, there's no unity. In every section of the country, if you go to the north, the same thing that is happening in the west, in the southwest is happening in the north, among the chiefs, among the Obas.
everywhere.
Even in the council of the Oluwo himself, are they together? In the council of Oluwo, are they together? Is Oluwo not favoring one person against the other?
For what
So
day,
what are we
which
talking
day
about?
will somebody start talking? That's
That's
the
just the
point.
question. Is it wrong for the Oluwo to actually speak?
That's the
Is it
point.
wrong?
What is he
Is it
talking
wrong?
about? My question is, what is he talking
What
about?
we
No,
should
he
talk.
actually
The lack
spoke
of cooperation
cooperation among the
Who should
Obas.
talk if does not talk?
Okay,
Traditional
listen,
rulers
listen,
Who
in
should
Yoruba
talk?
land.
we listened to a clip by Obasanjo saying why we
Why do you want to come back?
Why we voted for Buhari was because we had a problem.
Okay.
Now, Buhari is complaining that there is so much problem that he made on ground. That's why he couldn't achieve what he achieved. Now, why do you want to go back? That is somebody speaking out. He has a direction. You come out to say that there is so much unity, disunity in Yoruba. What did you pin that disunity?
As in something to back up.
Back up. That is my own.
Okay.
Everybody can come out and make any blanket
Let's not
statement.
fight over this. Let's not fight over this. All right. Okay, we get what you're saying. I get what Kesolo is saying. I get what you're saying, Mr. Godi Fose. But, well, the Oluwo himself has come out to say, to deny that he's not changing his title. So I think everybody should
go back to his seat.
No, but they could still call him the Emir.
No,
please, Alero. He's not taking
nobody
that
should call him an Emir. They don't call him an Obo.
He said he does not. He said he's not.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. And we all know that last weekend the whole of Enugu was agog because one of our finest in terms of music in Nigeria had a live concert which was free. But then sometimes some good things can have some bad endings. And that's what happened at the Flavor concert in Enugu. An anonymous Twitter user slammed the Nigerian music star after over 20 girls were raped at his music concert in Enugu on Saturday. The lady made this known that the act took place in spite of the presence of the state governor and the plenty bodyguards that were around at the concert. This concert held at the Michael Okpara Square in Enugu, and of course, since that time, social media has been buzzing with this allegation. People have been throwing different perspective to the story. Meanwhile, the Enugu State Police Command has commenced investigation into the rape allegations, and according to the police public relations officer in Enugu, Ebere Amaraizu, 3 people have been arrested already, and those ones were arrested for allegedly stealing mobile phones during the event. And they're saying that those they have arrested will be made to face the music in line with various provisions and specifications of the law. All right, let's look at live concerts and security. Why are you throwing it to him? It's Kesolo's forte. It's your forte.
It's your forte.
All right, live concerts and the issue of security, especially, you know, this Flavor. This is not the first time this is happening, though.
For me.
In Enugu. Remember, even at Fino's concert, there were allegations of rape. So,
I think the problem has nothing to do with the artist.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the artist. This, like I said, that I liked the part of the words that came out, like the governor was actually on seat when such happened. I think at this point we are in Nigeria, we should know that we have these serious security issues, and there's some stuff we should not take for granted.
Okay.
Like the stadium is actually, for me, it's not ethical for me to have such events anymore.
It's the Okpara Square. It's not.
You understand? It's not even. I'm talking about the stadium now. It's not ethical to have anything as of now. We have problems in Nigeria.
Something that big.
Yes. It's not ethical.
Yes.
Because everybody you checkmate from the entrance inside looks very good, like a normal human being when they're coming, but when they're inside, they
become something else.
You know, so let people stop naming names and blame and laying allegations, because
fingers.
I think last year Lagos State had one too around Obakran Road,
Yes,
and there were allegations of such too. This is the Lagos State event too. So what do you want to say? So for me, I don't think it has to do with Flavor. It has to do with anybody. It's the case. Is the state of our security in Nigeria.
Currently. Okay, Mr. Godi.
All right, Mr. Godi, because right now.
Kesolo also, okay.
No, you could just say.
Okay, Kesolo actually nailed it on the head. I think the live show at this time across Nigeria is not needed. We have a very huge security challenges now in Nigeria, not only in the north, across the south, southeast, and the rest of it.
So let me pick up something. Like people need to understand that, especially in Nigeria, the way we are growing in culture, it's not everybody that understands the fact that ladies still wear bikinis and walk on the road of the street of Lagos. Okay. Some men are still growing to the point to understand that this is not the new.
They're still stuck in the.
So when you see a lady dressed this way, it's just like, man, I need to get this. You get what I'm saying? So it's one major part that actually has a part to play too. Because when you see a woman dressed
in the rape saga, right?
Yes.
I was actually coming to that, and one thing I need to say is that look, I am not a fan of anything free. I've never loved anything free. I don't know why, because I believe that whatever that is free, you don't place value on it. A free show is a free show. He has his own baggages.
Anything you get, you
He
take.
has his own baggage. See, you are calling for a free thing, for something that someone should have actually paid 5,000. And if you place 5,000 on it, you know how many people that will not come. Do you understand?
Because I think he's trying to do a give back.
Yes.
Forget about, see, music is never a give back. Music, football has never a give. You go to Arsenal to go and watch a game and you pay 65 pounds to get in and watch a game.
Okay, so you're saying because the show is on a free
free.
concert is one of the reasons.
Because that free concert, you cannot, security is breached. You may not be able to check people properly.
Exactly. Anybody can come
because
in.
you want the arena to fill up.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
You want your fan to get entry to it. So it's going to have
No. I'm actually going to disagree with you because I'm talking about the Lagos State street party that took place sometimes last year. That something similar like this almost happened, that they had to close the show. You won't get to tell me almost all the police force in Lagos were present at that place. And secondly, you spoke about this is like the wrong time for people to go out and like Mr. Goddy Oldon. We've had too many tension in the country, and a lot of people need to ease up
That's
their
another way
heads.
of looking at
Ease
it.
up. Listen,
Do you understand?
Plus again, how will the
It's
artists become more popular if you don't relate with your fan base?
Hello, how do we know that this rape incidents happens within and around the concert area? Some people will close from the show, walk home. This thing will happen somewhere else, and you come and touch it because I went to Fino's concert.
I get what you mean.
Those police people were they extended to as far as Ogba and Agege. Don't forget, those people that came to those shows came from that area. Some of them may be trekking because closing Obakran means that there is no vehicle coming in as far as you have to trek to where? To Ogba. To get a vehicle.
I remember,
And this brings us back to
correctly,
security. It's not when they're having a show that you're not bringing all the...
Wait.
Alero, sorry, I don't know. Please remind me. I think there was one of such shows in Lagos where it ran really late into the night. I can't remember which show was it, but then they provided free transport for ladies, Taxify. You know, you could actually go back home in a taxi. And it was free for ladies, just for security.
Yeah, but
I can't remember what show that
was not an open air show. That was, I think, it was at a hotel.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So, and I think they paid for that. What you're talking about.
Okay.
But this free thing
In UK.
But even though this one was
UK,
free, the
in
state
US,
governor
all these
was
things happen.
present at this
No matter the security
concert.
situation, patience. No matter the
Sir,
security
let
situation.
me put something to her. Have you forgotten the IG said something recently that he wants to pull back the police from all of us?
On the VIP.
From us. Because there's not much police anymore. And the strong men, in quotes, the strong men has been taken by us. You get what I'm saying? So, meaning that those snipers and all that is the one that's actually following me and the rest of other people. You get what I'm saying? So, he wants to pull them away. So, if the IG is complaining of police, you get what I'm saying?
Then who am I?
See, look, I understand some of these things. These things happen in live shows across the world.
just don't want that name
Across the world.
attached
It
to
will always happen.
That's it.
I don't want
about
that
the
name.
security.
Let's talk about security. I
The
don't
show
want
owners always carry the negative vibes that comes through in the show. All right? It will always happen.
Because that's how you can refer to
Even the show, at the end of the day, they themselves, they want those negative vibes around them. I don't know
Publicity.
because yes,
Like-
listen.
like
I'm
rape?
it
rape?
may not be rape.
Uh-huh.
It might be violent. See, there was a show. There was a major beer used to have a bigger mega star in this country. My windscreen was brought down. I wasn't raped on
God for that.
on Oluwo Way.
Okay.
It was brought down.
What-
What happened? The PR agency offered, who invited me
Was free.
to cover the event, to offer to fix it for me. I appreciate just what happened to a man who get entry, who wanted to enter, got an invite and got in, and didn't know a single person from
those
that
are
company.
eventualities.
So those things will always happen. What I'm trying to say is that in terms of rape, also I want to appeal to our ladies. You can dress well. It doesn't actually stop rape anyway. For someone who has the tendency to rape a
the
woman,
intention,
even if you wear a hijab, you will still want to know, because there are some men who love to forcefully copulate with a woman. Do you understand? So it was
Especially
but
in that kind of atmosphere where people have been drinking and smoking and doing all
but
sorts.
that also can reduce the incidence of rape.
will have
Yeah,
reduced
because
it.
I've seen a lot of artists. I've seen a few clips of artists that even slapped one of the guys in the crowd when they tried molesting a female.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that.
You made a good point, because like me, if you go to shows, you don't see me on wristwatch, you don't see me on chain.
Okay,
because you know this as
For me,
I don't think I would ever go for that kind of a concert alone in the first place. I won't do that.
Should desist from free shows.
For free shows.
And free shows, if you want, like Kesolo, I want to also advise you people, if you want to do a free show for your artist, please
For your fan base.
ensure that there is security. Ensure that you put all of those things that will minimize any negative vibe that come out from the show. Because tomorrow, if Fino want to do or Fino or whatever I want to do,
she threw the one for Lagos State to you now.
No, hold on,
Lagos
Mr.
State.
Where the governor of his state was, what kind of security
Madam,
don't you get?
Madam, see, I don't know whether you have the opportunity to go around with the governor. See, what security does for a governor is to protect the governor.
Just the governor alone.
Not you.
No, but around that axis that the governor is, they get to protect. They protect the axis that the governor
I have
is.
said it that some of these rape cases, I want the police to come out with their investigation to say that those things happen around Michael Okpara Square, or it happened in the streets away from it. I want to know.
Okay.
Do you understand? So that let us wait. Let us not jump the gun. Let us wait until.
Like I said, I don't like the situation whereby the name of the artist is being rubbished because of that show.
It's always happened.
You understand? So we should know where the issue is coming from. Our security is very low. We should understand that. And he too, during the show, the people who actually plan the event for him should have that in their head that this happens. And for the women, the ladies going to such events, sir. If I don't go when as a young boy, when I see women, they go for 9 GGs. They wear like 2 jeans. Because they walk out for road, they don't go see boys in the morning.
Across the world, the live concert is dying down.
Yes.
You people should imbibe the
especially after all the bombings.
You see,
the
talk will be in a club. See, you want to give back to, you want your fans. There are some people in my home state that has never seen Peace Square. They want to see Peace Square. If you get those things for those who can afford it, they will go and see Peace Square, not in a live show. All over the world. I don't know where, if I know the artist that does tour mostly in Nigeria is Femi Kuti, because I usually heard of it. I've never seen him especially I used to go to Australia. I never heard that he performed in the open crowd. He goes on those stuff. He makes his money. Yes. So you know that the country is not
having a security
the artist will
challenge.
get something that is he didn't deserve.
Okay, but this is one too many. I think our security agencies, they have to do something. Especially, I think if you're going to have like an open air concert like that, you would have liaised with the security agencies in that particular stage, to ensure security.
They would have.
I belong to the police one way or the other. You understand?
I think the girls that were raped,
I know what they do.
Were more than 20.
More.
I know they were more than 20. They just played it down. That's usually the case.
The rape case.
Yes, I think they're more than 20.
The one that were molested were extra.
Did you see the mammoth crowd at that concert?
Madam, you find out that a guy that has been chasing a lady for a year,
like what you said,
who targets you, say you are going to that show.
Like what you said, the final thing is trying to embrace the fact that these things has to be brought down.
Yes. Let's re-strategize and make our music industry vibrant by doing tours. And more money for the artists. Because I can tell you, Flavor did not make a dime from that concert.
It was his give back.
He didn't make a dime from that concert.
Because he was born in Enugu.
And do you know what he's going to do? He's going to cost him more
it was his give
to
back.
begin to defend those baggages that come through that show. It doesn't make sense to me.
All right, anyways, the Enugu State Police Command, they are on top of the matter, and we hope that the culprits will be brought to book. All right, moving on to our very last topic of discussion this afternoon. We started this discussion yesterday, but because of time, we couldn't really talk about the federal government's list of alleged.
Now again, there's no time again.
No, we have a little time today.
Better.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Why did you bring it for?
But no problem, we're still going to try.
All right, we all know that the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, released this list during a press conference. Let's see that footage quickly, and then we'll come back. Quickly.
Reno released his own yesterday.
We want to assure the PDP that Nigerians will not forgive and they won't forget until they return all the funds they looted. The PDP said they did not loot the treasury. Well, I'm sure they know that the treasury was looted dry under their watch. Yet they decided to grandstand. This shows the holiness of the apology to Nigerians. Let's just give them a teaser with this small list. 1, the PDP chairman, Uche Secondus, on the 19th of February 2015, he took 200 million naira only from the office of the then NSA under his own name. On the 24th of October 2014, the then PDP financial secretary took 600 million naira only from the office of the then NSA. The then National Police Secretary, Olisa Metu, who is on trial for collecting 1.4 billion naira from the office of the then NSA. Of course, you all know the case of Dr. Raymond Dokwesi, chairman of DAR Communications, on trial, who is on trial for taking 2.1 billion naira from the then office of the NSA. The former SSA to President Jonathan, Ludafa Waripamo Owe, is also on trial over 830 million kept in accounts of 4 different companies.
So, yes, that was the Minister of Information there, reeling out the names of alleged looters of the Treasury. The first list had 6 people on it, but that has since been reviewed. Yes, it was a teaser. Now, the federal government has released another list of more looters in PDP. And the list indicated that the total amount allegedly looted by 23 people named in the list is $19.82 billion in foreign currency and 320.066 billion in naira. Okay, so quickly, let's talk about this.
Nigerians, are we smarter now? No, that's just
that's your question.
That's my question. Are we smarter now?
At the end of the day, we know what is happening right now. The whole world knows what is happening right now. Because at the end of the day, I asked myself the question that after all this, how do Uncle Lai stand to face the public? Because at the end of the day, this is politics, this is democracy, and we will always have an opposing party. You know, if at the end of the day you want to kill the opposing party, we are not the autocratic government whereby it's just one person that is ruling. At the end of the day, nobody can stand against you. But at the final point, I really don't know what to say because I'm weak.
Okay, Mr. Gadi.
Mr. Gadi will have a lot to say.
I am not actually against the looters list. I want everyone that has participated in looting our common patrimony be named and shamed.
Okay.
But
devoid of whatever party.
Devoid of whatever party.
Okay.
But my concern is always that we have rule of law in Nigeria. And the rule of law always says that if someone has a case with you, even with us journalists, is a case in court, you don't need to judge that person anymore. Until the court says the person is guilty or not guilty. Now, what I expected the federal government to do, because they said they have had a lot of people returning money. They've recovered a lot of loot, voluntarily and involuntarily. Now, what I expected the federal government to do was first and foremost to name the list of those names that are not in courts, and said, Mr. Godi Ofose, he came here and pleaded that they gave him 20 million. He has brought in 5 million. voluntarily. Godi Ofose brought in 5 million. Kesolo brought in 2 million. Alero brought in 2 million. These are the cases that are not in court.
Yes.
Okay. I get you.
Now I'm publish that name and let those people come and say, I did not return that money. Because when you are returning money, you must sign at some point.
Of course.
They must have your video when you are
Yeah.
secretly,
Evidence.
they must have all the visuals and everything. Now, what are you doing? We know that Olisametu is already in court, over 200 million he collected. And you are telling us that his part is one of the people. You have taken him to court. Shame him by handcuffing him. You have done a lot of things to him. There are also other people like that who have not actually accepted that. Because if they are in court, they mean that they have not accepted that they have looted the money.
Yeah, the money.
Do you understand? Because they have a lawyer. You mentioned Uche Secondos, who you have never arrested for 1 day.
Yeah.
And you have never called him to come and say, look at this is where you have the money.
allegation against you. Exactly. You know, now this is beginning to look...
Another thing is that,
Okay.
now it is now even easy for us to, if you help me get to a position of government, what do I just need to do? Help myself with something I can get. Knowing full well that the next government will come and say, God, your force looted our fund. And I will be working free.
Well, you know, well, yesterday as well, we all know Reno Omokri, who is a staunch Goodluck Jonathan supporter. Yeah. His media aide, you know, came out with his own list of APC looters and all that. So this has become more
like
of a PDP,
It doesn't really make sense.
APC
It doesn't make sense.
war.
Or if you look at, if you read what Reno did, it's also the things that have been in media.
Exactly.
Do you understand? The same thing that Lime, and I also believe that if a government is serious and is ready to fight corruption, it shouldn't be Lime one. I'm not saying Lie is corrupt. It shouldn't be Lie that is reading the names.
Yeah.
Because Lie has already has a perception among the younger persons and even the politicians themselves.
Yeah.
We know his activities when he was in opposition. And I asked myself, when Lie was in APC, ACN then, and APC,
Yes.
who was supporting all those things?
All
Now,
right,
somebody
Mr. Foster, you are bringing another angle to this story.
No, that's the
Quickly, in
point.
10 seconds, last words, Kesolo.
I really don't know what to say much. You know, the point is, we already know, like the question Alero asked, everybody's no more, there's no fool.
All right.
We're no more fools.
Yes.
Everybody, if it was easy, it was easy for the federal government to actually put a lot of censor to social media. I think social media is a major part that actually faulted the APC government.
Social media is the opposition to this government.
Exactly.
It's
PDP,
not PDP.
it's social media.
Everybody's speaking
Last words,
their
Mr.
minds.
Godi, we have to go. Time is seriously against us.
We can't speak.
Quickly.
We'll talk about it the next time.
My last word is that let me talk to Kesolo. Please tell your people, embrace tour,
Okay.
and live life.
Live concerts alone. All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on the show. Our guest on the program today has been Mr. Godi Efose and also Kesolo. Thank you indeed for coming on the show. Thank you,
Thank
Alero.
you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Thank you for being a part of the show. Join us tomorrow at noon for another edition. Have a good day.